As you guys know, this thing is a ZL1 clone, so it's got the aluminum block, aluminum heads, 427. So at the last event, we struggled a mile an hour in this thing, and a lot of it was the air. We had a few issues. We broke a rocker arm again, which at that time was our second rocker arm we broke. Brought the thing home and threw it on the dyno. It was down on power. Time goes by, I don't know. Now we're less than a week away from leaving for the NMCA race in Indy, and put the thing on the dyno again. Couldn't figure out why it was down on power. Thing broke another rocker arm for some reason, and then it's just down almost 30 horsepower. We just made a couple pulls last night, right around 710, 711. This thing's best pull ever was a 749 earlier this year. So I did a leak down on it. We're leaking right around 10% across the whole board, maybe a little over in some cylinders. All of it's going through the rings because you can put your hand over the valve cover hole, you take that plug out, and you can feel it all. Plan now is to put the motor in the Camaro that's supposed to go in that Corvette for this event. So this thing will end up being a 396, 375 horse L89. One thing we learned on the dyno is this thing makes peak power at like 6,500. So we need to move that power number way up. Really falls on its face like 7,200. That engine's got a new camshaft in it. Hopefully it makes more power above 6,500. Maybe move that peak power up to like 72 would be awesome. Only time will tell. So get this thing over to the lift and get the aluminum motor ripped out of it. Start putting the cast iron motor in it. All right, I was actually gone. My dad did most of this work, but I got back just in time to help rip the motor out of that thing and got him down here on the scales to see what we're gonna lose, and it's not even that bad. Right here is the cast iron engine, 575 pounds. There is the aluminum engine. The scales were 2 pounds off. They were -1. We already had the cast iron engine on there and zeroed everything. Somehow the scales for the aluminum engine had -1 on each pad. They're really tipsy on the scales. We only got 2 under each one. But a 75-pound difference from the aluminum big block Chevy to the cast iron big block Chevy. I mean, the only difference is right now we've got a pulley on there. Not on here. This one's got a motor plate on it. The exhaust manifolds won't fit onto this stand. I don't know why the stands are different, but those exhaust manifolds are for Camaros. This one's got Corvette manifolds on it, so we got to switch the exhaust manifolds. And most people say the Corvette manifolds actually flow better and make more power than the Camaros, which we've actually dynoed them, and they both make the same exact horsepower. So we actually run Camaro manifolds on the Camaro for those people that have questioned that. A few people have asked that. But same cylinder heads, same intakes. This motor and that motor made about the same power when fresh. This motor moved the power up a little bit more and has a lot less down low. This motor has 25 horse less than this motor at like $6,000, which should help get this thing down the racetrack. Cast iron kind of worried me at first. We were thinking about 120 pounds, but as you can see right there, she is not as heavy as we thought. This thing should run very, very good. Went 950 earlier this year in like 2,500 foot of air. So hopefully switching the engines, we can get away from that 710 horse back up to that 735, 740. I'm not really looking for 750 like what it made previously, but that was like in March. Air was cool.
A few moments later.
Alright, she was a little fat at a 12.3, but we only pulled it to 6,500 and ended up making 690. Right at 65 was where it fell on its face before, so we're gonna pull it past 65 and see where that puts us. I don't know, kind of down in power right now, so hopefully this thing picks up big and high RPM. Alright, so this thing just made 694, which is super low. Actually, no, it just made 693, actually. Putting the carburetor off of this carb back on it. It had the carb that they dynoed on it, which was a Pro Systems. This is a Get 'em Garage. So this carburetor usually makes more power on this car only. So we're getting ready to check for fuel leaks. You ready? You good? Alright. So we're gonna let her cool down and make another pull. We were just running some numbers on this thing, and judging by the dyno numbers that it's made, and my dad's got all the engine stuff on his phone. Currently, right now, this thing is eating up 22% from the flywheel to the tires. Typically should eat up around 15 to 18. The aluminum engine was eating up 22.5, so we've definitely got a problem. Drivetrain, converter, transmission. It's obviously not the engine. This is a fresher engine than the aluminum engine sitting over there on the floor, so this thing should make more power, and it's not. That's clearly telling us that, one, the aluminum engine isn't hurt like we thought, and two, this problem is getting worse because these two engines made identical horsepower. So this is the change on the two engines, the camshaft change. This camshaft is supposed to make less power down low, which it does, and it's not coming in up high where it's supposed to. I mean, it's starting to level out. I mean, you can see where it's down in the lower RPMs, which is what this camshaft was designed for, but the thing's just down all over. The aluminum engine made 718, it made 725, I mean, right around there. This engine wouldn't make over 694. And we just struggling to figure it out. So tomorrow we're going to throw a tranny and a converter at this thing. This has got a bolt together converter, so we'll take it apart, inspect it, see what we can find. But thought we were going to find something with the engine today, and obviously kind of a kick in the nuts because we didn't find anything. We worked all day today, learned absolutely nothing. Well, we did learn the aluminum engine's not bad, so that'll probably go back in this thing. There's no sense in trying to tear up a new engine for trying to find issues, so we'll probably put the aluminum engine back in it, but for right now that's gonna be it. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow and hopefully have a better update on this pile of junk. All right, so it is the next day. I actually pulled the Camaro off the dyno because we are doing something totally different now. Just made a pull. This thing made 699, and that is not gonna get the job done. The thing has made this car with the aluminum engine, when it ran good, made 749. Usually average somewhere around 737 to like 742. And right now that's way off. So we changed the aluminum motor because it was down and it kept breaking rocker arms. Not kept breaking, but it's broken 3 rocker arms. 2 of them just idling. It's really weird. Plan now is to yank this whole drivetrain out, complete assembly, engine, tranny, and converter, and then bolt a different tranny, different converter to the aluminum motor, throw it back in there, get it back on the dyno, see if maybe we got a problem with a converter or transmission. Something's robbing this thing of horsepower, and we haven't yet figured it out, but one last attempt to try to figure out what the heck's going on, and then this thing's just gonna have to go to the racetrack pretty much with whatever power it makes after we put the motor back in it. All right, guys, it is now the third day of this video and the last day, because I'm not gonna string it out anymore. But we have the ZL1 back. That is the aluminum big block. This is the tranny out of the ZL1, and she's not looking so hot. We've got some brass laying down there, some metal flake, possibly a little bit of clutch material. As I explained to you guys earlier in this video, we learned that the RPM range is totally different from what we thought. We knew it was bad, didn't realize it was that bad. So changing the rear gear in the car, put the tranny in, or put the new tranny in, and then it's ready to go. This shop is a mess, so it's usually not this dirty. Ryan's car is ready to go. We put a clutch in it, and it does not feel very good. So we'll be taking the clutch that we took out of it. The clutch that we took out smelled kind of bad, so that's why we put the new one in it. It's not doing so well right now. So we might be putting the clutch in at the racetrack, but we also, if you can see, got rid of the side pipes. It has a full exhaust on it now. See the tailpipes peeking out right there. We don't have any bezels. It's supposed to get bezels around, or trim rings, or whatever you want to call them, but we don't have any of those. And then it's also got a Hurst shifter. Try to help Ryan bang some gears. This thing had a stock sloppy shifter in it, so put a new shifter in. So hoping to get this thing into the 12s. The Camaro, I don't know, I just explained all the work we got to do to that. I won't explain it again, I guess. My mom's car is done and loaded. My dad's car, I don't know what he's doing. He might change the converter. He might change transmission. Here's his converter, or the converter he's gonna put in it. His pan is right here, actually. Got some nasty crap in it. That's got to be clutch material. I think I would probably put a tranny in it. Yeah. We're trying to decide what to do, but now that that's separated, that doesn't look so hot. He might be using that tranny. Yeah, it didn't look that bad earlier, but that's clutch material. So, yeah, it looks like he's putting a tranny in. It is Monday night, late Monday night, so we're getting out of here. This video will be up on Tuesday, and then you guys can watch this while we're filming stuff for the event this weekend. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we will be in Indianapolis at Indianapolis Raceway Park, or Lucas Oil, whatever they call it now. They just changed the name again this year, I believe. But the drag strip in Indianapolis we will be at. We'll be running fast. Probably have a few cars entered in open comp as well. We're taking this, the Corvette, my dad's Corvette, and the silver Corvette my mom's been driving. Usually we're only working on one car, and it's always the Camaro up until days before we leave. But right now we're working on everything. So trying to get everything ready. Hopefully we'll be there Thursday morning, if not mid to late Thursday. We've actually got to do some stuff to Don G's Chevelle. I got boxes right there. I got to weld up some stuff for him, and then install those parts at the racetrack too. So we've got a lot of work to get done. So I'm going to wrap this video up right here. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.